Scientific study of RIG VEDA class 44. Today we are going through the Sooktha20 of Mandal 1 in RIG VEDA Mandal 1. Here the Devata is RIBHUKKAL. RIBHU means this is the father of our modern analytical geometry, civil engineering and its application. We know in civil engineering, in mechanical engineering, wherever there is any action take place, the force is taking place in that action. How to analyze that forces? There is a method in modern science that starts from the analytical geometry. So, in every action there is some force. To do some work we should use some force. We are using energy and it is applying in the form of certain force. So when going through that subject through modern science, we will first draw a figure, and in that figure we will mark the force, and that force is represented by some direction and magnitude. So we start from before doing any work, we start from preparing a chart. What are the actions are to be taken place in that? Especially in engineering, mechanical, physical, and its base is based on certain drawing. So the RIBHUs are related with the one is related with the force. That means that force is represented in the figure in the form of certain lines. We will put one point there. That is the origin. So in the paper we will put some point, that is origin, and we will draw two horizontal and vertical lines and so on. Then any point on that plane can be represented by two lines, one is horizontal and vertical. So a force is in the form of this way. Each force can be divided into one horizontal component and vertical component. That we have already seen when talking about Ashwini Kumaranmar. Ashwini Kumaranmar, each force can be represented by two, one horizontal component and vertical. So they are two. That is Ashwini Kumaranmar. So for a force can be represented by two, that is Ashwini Kumaranmar. Likewise, in analytical geometry, we are first putting a point. That point is origin, or where the creation of this drawing, or based on this drawing we are going to produce some construction or anything like that. So that is the origin or the Brahman itself, starting point. That we can say as Tower. So Tower is related with the RIBHU. RIBHU is the science behind this analytical geometry. So RIBHU is represented by a artist who draws figure. In modern science it is draftsman. Draftsman is drawing figure based after he will draw two axes and then he will draw the figure. by drawing certain lines in this. That lines is represented by certain maths. That maths is analytical geometry. In analytical geometry, first we will put one point and then we draw the figure, draw two lines. These are two axes. And if we want to represent a point in here, there are two components. It is one a horizontal, it is so much distance. In analytical geometry, we are saying that this point is so much distance in the horizontal direction and so much distance in the vertical direction. So this compound can be, this point can be represented by two lines. One is so much distance. We will measure this distance. So much distance from x-axis and so much distance from y-axis and so on. So likewise a point is representing. So one horizontal and vertical, that is Ashwini Kumar and Mark. So this RIBHUKKAL is responsible for the creation of Ashwini Kumar and Mark. That is his force. Ashwini Kumar and Mark is force. Force is divided into two, horizontal component and vertical component. This is done based on analytical geometry. So he is the lord of, this Bhrigu is the lord of Ashwini Kumar and Mark. And based on this engineering techniques and analytical geometry, we are doing all the works in engineering field and on all fields. So that is a mathematical approach. And Ruddu is the father of this analytical geometry or drawing or anything like that. Engineering drawing. Without knowing engineering drawing, we cannot go into modern engineering techniques. So the basic thing is we should first study the engineering drawing. So this Bhrigu is the father of these knowledges, the driving force behind these knowledges, behind this analytical geometry. We are sending rockets based using these principles based on analytical geometry. If any force is acting in any direction, any body, we are representing it by a line which is represented by a magnitude and also a direction. In the case of force, there is magnitude and direction. If we are pulling a stone, a force is there. If the force is less, it will not move. So a magnitude is there, force is there. If force possesses magnitude and it also direction. If we are pulling in this direction, it will go in this way. If we are pulling in this direction, that body will go in this way. The force represent to magnitude and direction, that is representing in this figure. Then to analyze it, it is divided. Each force is divided into horizontal and vertical component. That is based on analytical geometry, and that is Ashwini Kumar and Mark. Each force can be represented by two, one horizontal component, one vertical component. So based on this, let us go through the mantra. Now let us go through the first mantra.
ഋഗ്വേദം അഷ്ടകം 1 അധ്യായം 2 മണ്ഡലം 1 അനുവാകം 5 സൂക്തം 20. ഋഷി മേധാതിഥി കണ്വൻ, ദേവത ഇർഭുക്കൾ, ഛന്ദസ് ഗായത്രി. അയം ദേവായ ജന്മനി സ്തോമോ വിപ്രേഭിരാസയ അകാരിരത്നധാമഹ.
It says these rishis, these famous rishis who wrote these suktas, wrote these to represent the Bhrigus. They wrote it to explain these Bhrigus. That is the force who is responsible for creating this analytical geometry and its application. So they wrote this Sooktha, and it is going to explain the importance of Ribhus. So here these rishis wrote the Sooktha for Ribhus, to explain Ribhus. RIBHUKKAL. Now let us go through the second mantra.
ഋഗ്വേദം മണ്ഡലം 1 സൂക്തം 20-2 യ ഇന്ദ്രായ വജോയുജ തദക്ഷുർ മനസാഹരി ശമീഭിർ യജ്ഞമാശത.
It says, Ribhu came to our workplace where we are doing some work. If we are going to do some work, Ribhu came there. Ribhu came there with a number of horses for tied together. Horses mean force. We know Ribhu is responsible for converting these forces into different components. In the case of Ashwini Kumaranma, actually the force is this one. This force can be represented by one horizontal component and vertical component. This light, that is Ashwini Kumaranma. So a force is contains two components, horizontal and vertical component. The horizontal component moves in the horizontal direction. The vertical component moves in the vertical direction. So a force can be replaced by two forces, that is Ashwini Kumaranma. That method is suggested by analytical geometry, and Ribhu is the lord of this geometry, or he is the father of this geometry, or the geometry itself. So, but he came with a number of forces. Number of forces means this force, here we are dividing this force into two. If we want to divide it into the several forces, that also is possible. Suppose we want to move a body from here to this place, we can move it by just pulling in this way, that force. This is possible. If we want to attack a target, we can send the rocket there directly in that place. But it is not a safe method, because the opposite party can know this is moving in this way, we can easily attack it. If we are trying to catch a boy, he may run in this way. He will not go straight. It is easy to catch. That is why in rockets, we are sending it not straight. It will move in this way, and finally it will reach there. So it is not easy to attack. Why? How it is possible? Using this analytical geometry method. Suppose we want to move a body from here to this. This rocket is actually want to move from here to reach the target, but it will not move in this way. Instead of, it will be planned in such a way, based on this engineering technique or analytical geometry technique. It will move first in this direction, then in this direction, then in this direction, then in this direction, then finally it will reach here. So it is not easy to locate it moving positions. So it is not easy to attack. So these are to be programmed based on drawing, analytical method, and then it will be sent. That is programmed in this rocket. Then that rocket will go in this direction and finally reach there. Actually the force is this force is required, but this force is divided into a number of small forces, and we will achieve the target. So a force can be divided into a number of small forces acting in different directions, and finally we will reach the that method is used in engineering technology. That is using with the help of analytical geometry. If it is divided into two, it is Ashwini Kumaran mark. It can be divided in a number of ways. If we want to reach one point, we can go straight. Otherwise, we will move in this way. If we want to catch the nose, we can do it, or we can go in this way. The result is the same. So that is analytical method. So wherever there is force acting, where we are doing some work, there we are applying force. Force contains two components. One is its magnitude and the other one is direction. A force possesses two qualities. One is magnitude, directive, the other one is direction. If we want to pull a stone, we should apply enough force, that is magnitude. And if we want to move in this direction, we will apply the force in this direction. If we want to move in this direction, we will apply in this direction. So it has marked the magnitude and direction. These are represented in the figure. In analytical geometry, we are represented in the form of arrow. Each force is represented in that way. And then we are doing the work. Based on this drawing, we are doing any work. So in every work there is force is acting. It has two components, magnitude and direction. It can be represented by this in a paper. And their Indra is there to coordinate the activity. So it tells RIBHUKKAL will came there with a bunch of forces to help Indra to complete the work. Now let us go to the third mantra.
RIGVEDA Mandalam 1 Sooktha20 Takshan Nasatyabhyam Paritmanam Sukham Ratham Takshan Thenum Sabalar Dukham.
It says, this RIBHUKKAL produces the chariot for the Ashwini Kumaran, Ashwinis. That is, these forces, these horizontal and vertical forces are acting on the chariot through which this Ashwini Kumaran is moving. And to pull that chariot, where this Ashwini Kumaran is seated, he produced these cows. Cow means this Ashwini Kumaran is the direct force, which have two components. When splitting it into two, his chariot is drawn by small two forces, that is compared with the cow. Ashwini Kumaran is this strong force, that is this one. This one. Actually, this is the Ashwini Kumaran mark. It has two components, small two. So he is traveling in a chariot. This Ashwini Kumaran is moving in a chariot, which is attacked with the two small forces. That forces are represented by cow. So that is supplied by this RIBHUKKAL. That means this RIBHUKKAL, or in analytical geometry, this strong force is, this big force is divided into two small forces drawn by two cows. That is horizontal component and vertical component. That is small forces. The other one is force. This is small force. So it is compared with the two cows. Now let us go through the fourth mantra.
Mandalam 1 Sooktha20 Yuvanam Pitarapuna Satya Mandra Yaju Yavaha Grafavo Vishtya Kradaha.
It says, this RIBHUKKAL is very simple in nature. It is very easy to understand. For example, suppose a number of forces are acting on a body. We don't know in which direction it will move. Suppose there is a rope, and on both sides a number of people are pulling it in opposite direction. We don't know which direction it will move. So a number of forces are acting. So by using this analytical method, we can take all the forces. One, the first person on the left side is 1, 2, 3. 3 forces are using. In the other side, their forces are 1, 2 and 5. Here 1, 2 and 3. Strength force magnitude 1, 2 and 3. So totally 1 plus 2 plus 3. 3 plus 2 plus 1. 6. Here it is 1, 2 and 5. So 5 plus 2 plus 1, 8. So here it is 6, here it is 8. So it will move in this direction. Likewise, we can apply the if it is acting in different direction, we said convert it into horizontal, but each one can be converted into horizontal and vertical. So horizontal can be added together, vertical can be added together, and finally we can calculate easily. So it becomes simplified. So by using analytical method, the system will become simplified. So it is very simple in nature, and it is true also. If you analyze it this way, the result will be the same. Then it allows us, because by the help of this analytical geometry we are doing a number, all the things in this universe are taking place due to the action of forces, and to analyze these forces is very simple if we apply this analytical geometry. So the result is also true, and it makes our parents youth. That means in olden days people were suffering, taking a lot of time to analyze such complicated forces. If a number of forces are acting on a body, it is very difficult in different direction. We don't know how to analyze it at that time. But today it become youth, means we can easily analyze all the forces. If 10 forces are acting on a body in different direction, it is very simple. We can say that body will move in this direction by using this analytical method. Now, let us go to the 5th mantra.
ഋഗ്വേദം മണ്ഡലം 1 സൂക്തം 20-5. സംവോമദാസോ അക്മദേന്ദ്രേണ ച മരുത്വതാ ആദിത്യേഭിശ്ച രാജഭിഃ.
It says RIBHUKKAL came along with the Marudganas. We know the sun is moving in its orbit, or earth is moving in our orbit. That force can be resolved into two, horizontal and vertical component. That influence of sun on earth can be decided by analyzing the force, the tangential force, into horizontal and vertical component. That is Ashwini Kumarima. Likewise, the Analytical also is moving, so the attraction of that forces on earth can be analyzed by analyzing in this way, using this analytical method. And also comes with the suns. Sun means different suns are there. If the sun is in Meda, it is one sun. If it is in Edava, and it is another sun. Leo, Scorpio, etc. The forces are different. In different signs, they are producing different type of forces on us, and these are analyzed by this method, by using this method. So all these planets, this Marut, this sun, and all these are acting on us, influencing us. through its attractive force, and that force can be analyzed by using this Brighu principle or analytical method. So these Marus, it comes along with Marus and Aditya and Indra. So if there is any action taking place on the earth due to the influence of these planets, Indra is taking part in that action. So all these are coming along with this Brighu to take the input, to take the Somarasa, to take the input. Now let us go through the 6th mantra.
ഋഗ്വേദം മണ്ഡലം 1 സൂക്തം 20-6 ഉദത്വം ചമസം നവം തുഷ്ടോർ ദേവസ്യ നിഷ്കൃതം അകർത ചതുര പുനഃ.
It tells this Toshtava or the force or the sun which created this universe or this plate. We are taking food using plate. The food is taking inside in the plate. Likewise, what all things there are there in the universe, this can be compared with like that of a plate. We are eating from it. So Toshtava created this plate or surface, and this Brighu divided into 4 parts. That means if we are going to draw any engineering drawing, we are drawing it on a plate. First we are drawing it on a surface or a plate, and before that, this is the plate, this is the plate of the paper, this is the plate, and we are drawing 2 lines to convert it into horizontal and vertical components. That 2 lines are named as axes. So before drawing, we are putting a point, that is the origin, that is Brahman. There we draw 2 lines, that is axis, and this axis divided all this plate into 4 spaces. First quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, and fourth quadrant as per engineering drawing. So before doing any work, as per modern engineering technology, we will convert it into a drawing. For that we will take a plate, that is the surface of the paper, and on it we are drawing all the figures, and based on this we are going to create this building in this universe. So what all things that take place in this universe are first drawn on a paper. Before doing any construction work, we are first drawing it on a paper. So this universe itself is created as a plate, and this plate is this paper, and this plate is divided into 4 quadrants, 1, 2, 3, 4. It divides this plate into 4, that is chamas. This chamas means this plate is divided into 4. This paper is divided into 4 sections. First quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, fourth quadrant. That is in engineering drawing. So these 2 lines, actually these 2 lines divide the whole space into 4. 1, 2, 3, and this one 4. There are 1, 2, 3, 4. That is 4 chamas. This chamas is divided into 4 chamases, 4 parts, with the help of this Brighu or engineering drawing by using two axes. Now let us go through the seventh mantra.
ഋഗ്വേദം മണ്ഡലം 1 സൂക്തം 20-7 തേനോ രത്നാനി ധത്തന ത്രിരാ സാപത്നാനി സുന്വദേ ഏകമേവം ശുഷസ്ഥിതിഭിഹി.
By which, by doing so, the complete 3D-dimensional area can be divided into 21 types of structures. We know different types of crystalline structures are there. Based on this analytical principle, these crystalline structures are divided into different types. There are different types of crystals. Base-centered crystal, face-centered BCC, base-centered structure, likewise. Face-centered, corner, etc. The atoms are occupying certain positions at the center of a cube, at the face center of a cube, at the corner of a cube. Likewise, the atoms are arranging. Likewise, in systematic arrangement, crystals are formed, and we can get different types of crystals based on these arrangements. And likewise, here it says there are 21 types of Ratnangal. Ratnangal means crystalline structure, diamond. Diamond possesses a crystalline structure, by which there are about 21 types of crystalline structures as per this Veda. So it is advanced form of mathematics and the study of crystalline structure. In crystalline structure, we are taking a cubic centered cube. These units, the unit of a crystal, smaller part, it is called a cell. That is taken in the form of cube, rhombic, or anything like that. So these ratnas or diamonds possess different types of crystalline structures. There are different types. That is the result of study of analytical geometry. So it results in 21 types of crystalline structures. That is what it says. Now let us. It is a very. We are studying such things in engineering or in chemistry itself. In BSc level, we are studying the crystalline structure of different types of crystals. So there are different types that is explaining through this mantra. Now let us go through the 8th mantra.
ഋഗ്വേദം മണ്ഡലം 1 സൂക്തം 20-8 അധാരയന്ത വന്നയോ ഭജന്ത സുഹൃത്യയാ ഭാഗം ദേവേഷു യജ്ഞിയം.
So these reports gets a very famous position in modern engineering technology. Wherever these devatas are going to take part in any advanced technology activities, there comes the role of these ribhus. That means modern engineering, we are discovering new types of things. That is possible only after drawing certain figures in the form of a drawing. Engineers are first preparing the drawing of that subject or thing. For drawing such things, they are using this technology, analytical geometry and its application. And RIBHU is responsible for it, and RIBHU is the father of such a science. And RIBHU is the force that is acting behind this science, analytical geometry and its application. So he has a great role in our modern activities.